Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I'm delighted to welcome to the show today actress Esta TerBlanche. She is best known for her contract role of Gillian Andrassy of the ABC daytime soap opera All My Children. Her credits also include Spin City and hosting the South African youth program K-T.V. Esta became a household name on the first primetime daily soap ever in South Africa. She's hosted numerous TV shows, including the Soap Opera Digest Award show. She's also won several awards for her work in South Africa and awards in the U.S. I'm delighted to have her on the show today. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am delighted to have as my guest today the famous actress Esta TerBlanche, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Esta, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. It's so great to be here with you on your show.
You really are probably best known for your role on All My Children. So walk me through your story.
I went to audition for something else, and the casting people let my agents know that they really like me, but I was too young for the part. And they said, but we really like her. We want to write something for her. And I thought, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. And sure enough, about a month later, we got a call saying, okay, we wrote something and we want her to come and screen test in New York. And yes, so it was true. And I flew to New York and I screen tested, and that's how Gillian, my character, got started. So you never know if you're gonna go for an audition and maybe it doesn't work out. You know, something else might happen. And I was there for almost 5 years, and it was just a magnificent time. It was a new place for me. I've never been to New York ever in my life. And so it was this whole new experience for me in this big city. Everything was new for me. And then I'm working on this American production. Such a blessing really for me, and with wonderful cast members, and Cameron, of course, was amazing. And yeah, thank goodness for him, because he really was so easy to work with, and we got along so great, and we had a really good friendship. We just had a really good working relationship. He understood my working, the way I worked. Also, English wasn't my first language, so it was my second language, and I sometimes really struggled with remembering my lines in English, and he was really good at that. Like if I came in with the wrong lines or I changed the lines, he would just go with it. He would just adjust. He would just have my back on it. Like he would just, he never said, oh, stop, she had the words wrong. So he would just go with it. And that was really amazing.
That's really a big deal for them to have worked with you the way that they did, because I know a lot of the lines they used were kind of funny, but it played well a little bit into your character, if I remember correctly. But
yes,
they
that's
really
actually how
used
it
that
started.
to their advantage and yours, and it made you an even more lovable, beautiful character.
But that's how it started, because me as Esta, I messed up the lines so often and said the wrong things, and they thought it was funny, and then they started to write it on purpose. So then I was like, okay, well, if I mess up the lines, it really doesn't matter because they write it all wrong anyway. So I'm just going to keep going. If I say it wrong, it doesn't matter because it's going to be okay because sometimes they write it wrong anyway. And I really have to applaud Cameron for that, because he would just know, okay, she said it all wrong now. She's out of context now. And he would just go with it and just pick it up, and just, we always made it work. The magic in that was the surprise element, because I think sometimes I would surprise him so much that it pulled him into such surprise, and that it really pulled him into the moment. And it maybe that's why it really worked with us, because he never knew what to expect and what was coming next. And neither did I really, because I never really knew what was going to come out of my mouth either. And so scenes with us was always a kind of a surprise, because I never really knew either what was going to happen.
You know, what a blessing that they were able to work with you that way and sort of lessen the pressure of coming from South Africa to the US to do a soap, for them to not put that pressure on you, but to work with you. It made it even better. And that was really a blessing to not have that pressure like that.
Yes, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, absolutely. And yes, and they actually called it Gillianisms. Like it became like a thing. They made it into Gillianisms, and then, you know, that became a thing where, yes, where I had to speak all wrong on purpose. Because yes,
I would love that, to be able to speak wrong and still be applauded for that. So
yeah.
So your journey actually started early, though, before All My Children, when you were in South Africa and then you made your way to the States. Let's back up a little bit and start with your upbringing and how you ended up in the US.
I've always wanted to be in television, in acting. I actually started off as a host. I was hosting a TV show called K-T.V. It was a kids television. So yeah, I was doing, that was my first TV show. I was 16, and I would do it every single weekend. And my mom would take me to like the big city, and we would film on the weekends. And I would work hard all weekend. And while my friends were partying, and I was just working. And so, yeah, that's how I got started in this business. And then from there, I did another hosting show called Math No Problem, where I was hosting this math program, you know, explaining math and tutoring math on TV, which was hilarious because I was really bad at math. But then from there, the director told me about this new soap opera that they were going to do in South Africa, which was the first ever. It was like groundbreaking. South Africa was going to do the first ever soap ever in the country. And I sent in my information, or my, you know, my resume to this producer for that. And I went to audition, and then I got the part on Egoli. It was a primetime show in South Africa.
That's wonderful. So how old were you when you actually came over to the US?
I was I think I was 23. Yes, I was about 23. And it was a really, really scary thing for me to do.
Sure.
I remember I arrived at LAX with my 2 suitcases. I walked out of the airport, and I stood there, and I just looked, and you can kind of see the city, and I just looked, and I thought, what were you thinking? Like, I don't know anybody. I just got like such anxiety, and I thought, no, I'm just gonna like turn around and walk right back into the airport and go back to South Africa. This is insane. I can't do this. And I stood there for about 5 minutes, like debating with myself, what am I gonna do now? Because suddenly I just felt so overwhelmed. And then I got into a cab and I did it, but it was very scary.
What were you telling yourself? How did you motivate yourself to know I'm going to do this?
I just knew in my heart, okay, this is what you have to, this is your path. This is what you have to do. You gotta do this. And it was literally just getting up every day, do it, do it, do it again and again, and keep going every day, and just don't give up.
Right. Well, I think you answered it. It was in your heart. You knew it was your path. And so you knew every day you just had to get up and keep doing it over and over again, because it's not just going in that one time to audition and you get the job. It's going over and over and over again and learning how to deal with rejection. But you kept saying, even when someone would say no, you knew someone else would say yes. So you really have to self-empower yourself a lot in this business, I would think.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That is the thing. It's the dealing with the rejection. And you just have to be like, okay, not this time, but maybe the next time. And just keep going and going and going.
You ended up being on shows like Spin City. So talk a little bit about what happened after leaving All My Children, some of the next things that you were involved in.
I went to South Africa and I did quite a few things there. I hosted a show called Supermodel. It's kind of like America's Top Model here, like we have here. With Tyra Banks, and I hosted that. It's a 13-episode thing there. And I did a bunch of documentaries with Michael Kastenbaum in South Africa, all over the country. And I did some work with Neil Sandilands and a short film. Got involved with some healing and stuff.
You've won several awards for being one of the most beautiful women on television, one of the most beautiful women in soap operas, and you're absolutely just breathtaking. And it's just to see how gorgeous that you are. So on top of being beautiful, you're talented. So what would be your advice maybe to people that would like to be Esta, that would like to follow your path?
You know, my advice would be to make sure this is what you really want to do from your heart, not just because you want to be famous or because those would be the wrong reasons. You have to want to do it because you have a true desire to be an artist, and you want to really do the craft, and you want to act. And then if that's your passion, truly your passion, and that's all you really can see yourself doing, then go for it. And then don't let anybody get you off your track. Like, do not give up. Do not let any naysayers get in your way. Don't let anybody get to you. Be like a duck. Be like a duck. You know, water when it goes on a duck, it just rolls right off the feathers. So any negativity from other people, let it be like water on a duck. Let it just roll right off. We all have so much infinite power within ourselves, and we just have to dig down deep and access it. And then, the world is our oyster.
I love that. So where are you now in your journey? You've had all these awards, these accolades all throughout your life. You've done some amazing things. You've worked with some amazing people. So where are you now in your craft? Are you involved in any particular projects? Are you just waiting for that next project that is right for you? Tell us where you are now.
I'm involved with a cancer foundation, and then I am involved in the healing business. But as far as my acting goes, I would definitely be open to going back to it, because I took a little bit of a hiatus from that. But I would definitely be open to going back to that. Yes.
Do you mind sharing a little bit more about the healing business that you just mentioned?
Yes, I have my own business. I have a spa. Yes. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you are just an absolute delight to talk to. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. I've enjoyed learning about you and your story. And I think that you're an example of no matter what time we are in our life, we have so much to offer, and maybe don't ever let, as you alluded to earlier, let anyone tell you differently, because what you're bringing to the world now is just as great, if not even greater than your roles that you had on camera, I would think, because everything is equally important no matter what we're doing in life.
Yes, thank you. And the same to you, what you're doing now. I'm really proud of you for what you're doing now. You're a classic example of that. So thank you so much for saying that. And I just want to reciprocate that and say that back to you. It's wonderful what you are doing. It's like so beautiful. And you're such a great host. Like I can tell you have all the experience. You're so good at this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So how can people follow you, learn more about you, and continue to watch your journey?
I'm on Instagram it's at Esta TerBlanche.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to be sure to follow you, because 100% you've made my life better by being a part of my show today. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
For having me on your show. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will do it for this edition of Conversations with Nicole. Until I see you again, I hope you have a great day.